So hi everybody, you're very welcome. I'm very welcome if you're here at Cityside and also at home. And also if you're listening a wee bit later on catch up. So I thought we might be finishing tonight on the section of reliance upon our spiritual guide. It might happen, we can't be sure, but I thought I'd maybe just say a couple of words before the meditation. Just that I'm just going to check that everybody can hear. Thank you, Mark. So, yeah, maybe we already have a spiritual guide and we have complete actual reliance on him or her. Complete faith, like a believing faith, aspiring faith, and wishing faith. And it's there, and we just feel that connection and that mind-to-mind communication. Like we don't even have to be in their presence. We can just connect to that incredible mind. And that sounds perfect. It sounds like the way to go completely. That surrendering ourselves to wisdom and compassion, to bodhicitta, to someone who has realized experienciation, and perceiving them as being a Buddha, and the benefits of karmic benefits of that, and the quality of those blessings from that. We're perceiving our spiritual guide as a Buddha, and our mind just being pervaded by wisdom blessings. And maybe we're on that path, or maybe we're not sure about spiritual guide, and again, perfectly fine, no pressure, no rush. We all just take our own time. And I'm talking as much about myself as anybody else. But I've been thinking about this in terms of those kind of obstacles, those kind of karmic obstacles that can get in the way. And even if we have faith, maybe sometimes our faith dips, we become discouraged, we're not encouraged at all. And I was just thinking, maybe we can think, I'm going to realize emptiness, I'm going to realize renunciation, I'm going to realize bodhicitta, I'm going to follow this path, but I'm going to do it. Ian's going to do this, and it's a great intention. But I guess whenever I think about emptiness, for example, the object of like negation for emptiness is Ian. I go searching for Ian, and I can't find Ian. And I can think, actually, Ian's not going to realize emptiness. I have to get out of the way of myself. I have to dissolve myself. I have to let that go. And so I'm not going to do this. I want, actually, in terms of where I want to be, is to have a negation of this I, of this self, of this me, self-obsessed, addicted to me mind, the most important me in the universe. Creating so much suffering for this me, from life to life to life, in whatever form. If I'm animal, hungry ghost, hell being, human being, whatever that form is, suffering, and asking myself in terms of renunciation, like, do I realize that samsara is the nature of suffering? Do I realize that? Or am I attached to it? Am I attached to pleasures, worldly pleasures? Do I like a little trip now and again to go and see the Northern Lights or whatever it is, a kind of worldly holidays, and which are fine, which are absolutely perfect, but only if I see through the deception of that, that it's not a true cause of happiness, and if I'm thinking, I mean, we can even think of this sense of me, like it's so delicate and sensitive. If I was thinking today, like if I was at work and I heard somebody in the kitchen and I wasn't in the kitchen and there's cups left and they were like, I know who that was, and that was Ian. He left these cups here. And I'm thinking it wasn't me. But this me is like screaming. It even can't take that, it has to get up, and it can't even accept that. It has to get up and run out and say it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's so needy. It's just pervasively needy, and it can't bear any sense of criticism. It can't bear any sense of being blamed in the wrong. Like, we just can't bear it. And we can think, I just need rid of that. I need rid of this, can't bear it me. And begin that process of increasing our wisdom, our compassion, our like renunciation, and that kind of sense of like, perhaps I do need a spiritual guide. This me needs a spiritual guide to get to almost like to like negate this me. I need guidance. I need that pathway. And we can also think of how lucky we are to be in this current situation we're in, that we can, without any pain really, we can tune into classes. I can just open a book, and we can think of all our sort of lineage, of all our lineage, teachers. We can we can think of the hardship that they had to go through to gain these very teachings, these very same teachings. We can even think of so far of the book of like how much we've done, and how Tisha on his incredible quest. But part of that was he had a journey by boat of 13 months. It was just part of it over his years, and that 13-month journey by boat. And I don't think it was a Stena. I don't think it was the Queen Mary, or it wasn't like a luxurious boat. I'm thinking that boat journey, not just in terms of its time, but of what that boat would have looked like, and he did that in terms of getting teachings off Lamrim. Even that one journey to find a teacher who could actually teach him, like, went through so much hardship, and here we are just like showing up. I just have to open a book. I just have to tune into teachings. I can get them online. I can get them in person. I just have to open up my Zoom link. Again, I'm only talking about myself here. I can tune into any part of the world here now. I can tune into many different teachers. It's so, with little, I can do it whilst I'm drinking a hot chocolate. I can be listening to teach in a nice warm environment, a nice warm, and then we can think about like our forefathers and mothers who Yeshua, who give up his life for Dharma. His words of, do not think of me as important. Give that gold. I'm not important. We can think of those translators who went to Tibet, such hardship, the climate, everything. Like, we get a little bit of temperature rise. Again, I'm talking about myself in this country of 25 degrees, and I think I need a sort of ice bath. I'm like dying, just because of a little couple of temperatures, but it's not hardship. And where is that coming from? How have we developed this incredible merit, this karma? It's just not luck. It's just not we just happened to arrive here. It's what we've done, virtuous actions in our previous lives, our previous selves who had reliance on a spiritual guide. created this incredible karma, so we could then, in our present self, in terms of who we are now, practice this with little hardship. Like absolutely everything that we need is right here. I saw a little quote from Lagatisha just before, and he says, what great merit you must have to receive such profound dharma without any hardship. Be serious, practice it well. You know, this is like, it's like a Tisha talking to us right now. Be serious, practice it well. It's like knowing, you know, and we can ask questions like, what am I doing in terms of our actions? What am I doing for my future self? My future self, like what kind of karmic potentials am I planting for my future selves? I was in Almer Road, Almer Park, on maybe it was yesterday. I saw animals, I saw dogs, and they're just like little people. They've just got such incredible personalities, just like incredible, but are not in a position where they can practice Dharma, where they can hear, where they can really contemplate Dharma, they can understand Dharma. They are not in a position where they can actually meditate in Dharma. Not yet. You know, we have this incredible opportunity right now, you know, like be serious, practice it well. And it just leads me to think, and again, I'm only talking about myself, I'm just convincing myself here, but in terms of that, such importance of a spiritual guide, like the most important, and having that reliance on that guide, and having that reliance, even if we see faults, you know, it's like we've got this, we were saying last week about a fault-finding mind. You know, we have that faith and we perceive our spiritual guide as a Buddha, believe it. You know, appearances are deceptive. My opinion's unreliable. So I thought maybe we could meditate on a little bit of this, and maybe that kind of, like if we think of how all our lineages and how they perceive their spiritual guides through to their karmic potentials as an ordinary fisherman, as an old man, as a dog, etc., 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 and just begin to have that perception of that belief. It's the beginning point of my spiritual guide as a Buddha. Maybe at the beginning also to remind ourselves of some of the qualities of that spiritual guide as well. Okay, so we can now begin. Again, we can just begin with just a little breathing meditation, just to settle into this evening. So again, we just find a posture that we can be comfortable in. Our back straight, relaxed. Our right hand cupped into our left, symbolizing compassion and wisdom. Thumbs gently joined and hands in our lap. We just closing our eyes or leaving them slightly opened. Bringing our awareness out of our head and down to our heart center. Our spiritual heart. And we just draw all awareness inwards. And just for a couple of minutes, bringing our attention to our breath, waiting for the inhale and following it as we inhale and exhale through our nose. Then we can begin listening to and contemplating the words and meaning of the prayers. Bestow supreme, unchanging friend, I request from the depths of my heart, please give me the light of your wisdom to dispel the darkness of my mind, and to heal my mental continuum. Please nourish me with your goodness, that I in turn may nourish all beings with an unceasing banquet of delight. Through your compassionate intention, your blessings and virtuous deeds, and my strong wish to rely upon you. May all suffering quickly cease, and all happiness and joy be
lapis lazuli. May all of space be filled with offerings from gods and men, both set out and imagined, like offerings of the all-good One. In the space in front, on a lion throne, on a cushion of lotus, sun and moon, sits Buddha Shakyamuni, the essence of all my kind teachers, surrounded by the assembly of direct and indirect gurus, Yidams, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes, solitary conquerors, heroes, dakinis, and Dharma protectors. I and all my kind mothers, fearing samsara's torments, turn to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the only sources of refuge. From now until enlightenment, to the three jewels we go for refuge. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. From the hearts of all refuge objects, light and nectar stream down and dissolve into myself and all living beings, purifying negative karma and obstructions, increasing our lives, our virtues, and Dharma realization. May everyone be happy. May everyone be free from misery. May no one ever be separated from their happiness. May everyone have equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. You, protector of all beings, great destroyer of hosts of demons, please, O Blessed One, Lord of all, come to this place with your retinue. With my body, speech, and mind, humbly I prostrate, and make offerings both set out and imagined. I confess my wrong deeds from all time, and rejoice in the virtues of all. Please stay until samsara ceases. and turn the wheel of Dharma for us. I dedicate all virtues to great enlightenment. The ground sprinkled with perfume and spread with flowers, the great mountain for land, sun and moon, seen as a Buddha land and offered thus. May all beings enjoy such pure lands. I offer without any sense of loss the objects that give rise to my attachment, hatred, and confusion. My friends, enemies, and strangers are bodies and enjoyments. Please accept these and bless me to be released directly from the three poisons. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. So now, my most kind root Guru, please sit on the lotus and moon on my crown, and grant me out of your great kindness your body, speech, and mind's attainments. I make request to you, Buddha Shakyamuni, whose body comes from countless virtues, whose speech fulfills the hopes of mortals, whose mind sees clearly all existence. I make request to you, Gurus of the lineage of extensive deeds, Venerable Maitreya, noble Sangha Vasubandhu, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the path of vastness. I make request to you, Gurus of the lineage of profound view, Venerable Manjushri, Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the most profound path. I make request to you, Gurus of the lineage of secret mantra, Conqueror Vajradhara, Tilopa, and Naropa, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the path of Tantra. I make request to you, Gurus of the old Kadam lineage, the second Buddha, Tisha, Drom, Tompa, Geshe, Potawa, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the union of vast and profound paths. I make request to you, Gurus of the new Kadam lineage, Venerable Tsongkhapa, Jampal Gyatso, Kedrupche, and all the other precious teachers who have revealed the union of Sutra and Tantra. I make request to you, Venerable Kelsang Gyatso, protector of a vast ocean of living beings, unequal teacher of the paths to liberation and enlightenment, who accomplish and explain everything that was revealed by the fourth deliverer of this fortunate eon. I make request to you, my kind precious teacher, who care for those with uncontrolled minds, untamed by all the previous Buddhas, as if they were fortunate disciples. Please pour down your inspiring blessings upon myself and all my mothers, so that we may quickly stop all perverse minds, from disrespect for our kind teacher, to the most subtle jewel appearance. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, so that we may quickly generate pure minds, from respect for our kind teacher, to the supreme mind of union. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, to pacify all outer and inner obstructions. Please pour down your inspiring blessings upon myself and all my mothers, so that we may quickly stop all perverse minds, from disrespect for our kind teacher, to the most subtle jewel appearance. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, so that we may quickly generate pure minds, from respect for our kind teacher, to the supreme mind of union. Please pour down your inspiring blessings to pacify all outer and inner obstructions. Please pour down your inspiring blessings upon myself and all my mothers, so that we may quickly stop all perverse minds, from disrespect for our kind teacher, to the most subtle dual appearance. Please pour down your inspiring blessings, so that we may quickly generate pure minds, from respect for our kind teacher, to the supreme mind of union. Please pour down your inspiring blessings to pacify all outer and inner obstructions. From the hearts of all the holy beings, streams of light and nectar flow down, granting blessings and purifying.
We have made requests with all other living beings. And we just imagine that all the holy beings, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, yogis, yoginis, dakas, grant their blessings lights and nectars descend from their hearts, entering our body and mind. We imagine the purity of these lights and nectars entering our mind, our body. He's healing and nourishing lights and nectars purify all of our negative karma. And we just imagine that all our previous non-virtuous actions in all our previous lives has been purified completely. Our mind pervaded with purifying and healing lights and nectars from the hearts of all holy beings. all our obstacles and obscurations have been completely purified. We just have faith. We just believe. With correct imagination and wisdom, we believe our mind has been healed of all negative karma, all obstacles, and that our mind is enriched with merit, with good qualities, with lifespan, purifying nectars, increasing our merit, our lifespan, our good qualities. We imagine that the Buddhas are giving us their realizations, our mind imbued, pervaded with wisdom, lights, and nectars. And we feel that the Buddhas are giving up their realizations to us. We just believe and we bathe in these wonderful blessings. And then we can contemplate on this incredible, extraordinary opportunity we have right now to freely have access to all of these Dharma teachings from the nectar of Dharma, freely available to us right now. We have all the physical conditions. We have every scripture, every Buddhist presentation to bring us on the path to enlightenment and to achieve enlightenment. How fortunate we are right here, right now. Without any great hardship. We have every opportunity We just contemplate our incredible good fortune, have all these teachings to pacify our mind, to increase and actualize our realization of renunciation, of emptiness, of bodhicitta, to become a bodhisattva, a real example to this world, and to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of every living being. This is truly extraordinary, fortunate situation we are in. We can think of Atisha's words, what great merit you must have to receive such profound Dharma without any hardship. Be serious, practice it well. And this merit, karma ripening, has come from our previous lives, our previous virtuous actions, and our previous reliance upon a spiritual guide to guide us in the path to enlightenment. And we can contemplate until I purify this impure mind, even if all the Buddhas were to appear in front of me, I would not see them. I would see them all as ordinary until I purify this impure mind. Even if all the Buddhas were to appear in front of me, I would see them all as ordinary. At present, it is impossible for me to see their holy bodies with all the special signs and indications. While our minds are impure, we will perceive only ordinary appearances. To overcome this, we need to develop a believing faith that our spiritual guide is a Buddha. And when the feeling or thought arises that I must find and rely on a spiritual guide, or I must develop believing faith that my spiritual guide is a Buddha arises within our mind. We meditate on this single pointedly without distraction. And we can continue with the prayers.
The path begins with strong reliance on my kind teacher, source of all good. Oh, bless me with this understanding to follow him with great devotion. This human life with all its freedoms extremely rare, with so much meaning. Oh, bless me with this understanding all day and night to seize its essence. My body like a water bubble decays and dies so very quickly. After death come results of karma, just like the shadow of a body. With this firm knowledge and remembrance, bless me to be extremely cautious, always avoiding harmful actions and gathering abundant virtue. Samsara's pleasures are deceptive, give no contentment, only torment. So please bless me to strive sincerely to gain the bliss of perfect freedom. Oh, bless me so that from this pure thought come mindfulness and greatest caution, to keep as my essential practice the doctrine's root, the pratimoksha. Just like myself, all my kind mothers are drowning in samsara's ocean. Oh, so that I may soon release them, bless me to train in bodhicitta. But I cannot become a Buddha by this alone, without three ethics. So bless me with the strength to practice the Bodhisattva's ordination, by pacifying my distractions and analyzing perfect meanings. Bless me to quickly gain the union of special insight and quiescence. When I I become a pure container, through common paths bless me to enter. The essence, practice of good fortune, the supreme vehicle, Vajrayana. The two attainments both depend on my sacred vows and my commitments. Bless me to understand this clearly and keep them at the cost of my life. By constant practice in 4 sessions, the way explained by holy teachers. Oh, bless me to gain both the stages which are the essence of the Tantras. May those who guide me on the good path and my companions all have long lives. Bless me to pacify completely all obstacles, outer and inner. May I always find perfect teachers and take delight in holy Dharma. Accomplish all grounds and paths swiftly and gain the state of Vajradhara.
And then gently we can relax our concentration, and when ready, we can arise from meditation. So, whenever our mind is rich with realization, we can take teachings from Buddhas because we can see them, and we've purified our mind from all our obstacles. But in the meantime, like our spiritual guide or whoever that is for us is kinder. That's what we were saying last week, kinder than even Buddha. Introducing us, and we were talking last week a little bit about our first teacher, our first teaching that we heard that introduced us to Dharma, not just we kind of felt something, it resonated, we felt connection, that we were getting some answers, even to questions maybe that we couldn't even verbalize, just beginning to just a wee bit fog, beginning kind of a wee bit less and less. And it doesn't matter where that teacher is now. We were saying if they were ordained and they're not ordained now, it doesn't matter. We just think how kind they are. How kind that person was. We don't see fault. We're not there. We're just thinking of how kind that person is. It doesn't matter where they are now. They were so kind. Keeping our mind pure, just seeing that purity. And it's a choice. It's like a path we can kind of go down. We can come to like a crossroads, and we can think, oh, fault, or we can look another way, and we can look at another path, inner path, and think, actually, that path is so much more lighter. It's so much, it's not only kinder, but it's like happier. I feel my mind's happier, that there's happiness in my heart. That fault-finding path that we have well trodden, it's a well-trodden path. We can just decide, we just make a decision, actually, I'm not going down that way. Okay, so I'll just find the page we were on. I think it's here somewhere. Okay, so I think we finished last week on, I think at the bottom of page 135, so I think we're now beginning on page 136, and we'll see how we get on. So this part is remembering that our spiritual guide is kinder even than Buddha Shakyamuni. So it says, generally, Buddha Shakyamuni is kinder than other Buddhas because he is our main object of refuge and the founder of the present doctrine of Dharma. The Buddha Dharma we listen to, contemplate, and meditate on originates from him. So it's like going back to almost that. This is where our lineage goes to. It's kinder. So everything we're hearing now comes from Buddha Shakyamuni. From that lineage. So we can think it's kinder than all the other Buddhas. That's in terms of where we are in this like time, in this age, in this eon. These teachings are coming from him. We have already considered how very kind he is, but our present spiritual guide is even kinder to us because at this time we have no opportunity to make a direct connection with Buddha Shakyamuni. Therefore, it is only through personal association with our present spiritual guide that we can gain special realizations. So we have this link, we have this conduit, we have this interpreter. These are very crude words to say, but we've got some way in. There's another world there we can't see. We have very ordinary appearance. We have impure minds. We've got karmic instructions. There's a purity there that we can't see, and we have this. We know we have a potential for all of this, but we have many obscurations, we have many obstacles, we have much karma there that at the moment we just can't see it. But we have a conduit. We have somebody we can see at least, and take example from. Every single realization. Then it says, Atisha said that every single realization that we wish to attain depends upon receiving the inspiration of our spiritual guide. So whatever aspiration is, and we kind of want, isn't it? We want renunciation, we want emptiness, we want bodhicitta, we want whatever our realization is. We need that inspiration of our spiritual guide. We need that of them. They don't need us. We need. This is we can connect. That mind's always open, but we just need to develop that, begin to contemplate this, think about it, and meditate on it, and just then come to our own at our own time in terms of think, yes, I need a guide, and then as we further contemplate, I need to rely on that guide. Because I can read all these books, I can memorize all these books, I can be a fantastic academic in all these books. I could get a first in my degree, Bachelor of Science, Dharma. I could be a PhD student, but without faith, we don't really have anything. It's without reliance, it's the root of all our attainments. It doesn't matter how much we know academically. Without that reliance, it's the root of all our attainments. And it goes a little bit further here. It says, when we practice secret mantra, which is Tantra, so this is like whenever we generate as a Buddha, we have self-generation, and we do completion as a Buddha. And that's, that comes within our tantric teachings. We meditate on our yidam, our personal deity, as inseparable from our spiritual guide, so that we can receive his or her blessings and inspiration more quickly, since these are necessary if we are to succeed in this practice. So it's not, we can't do a bypass in this, I'm going to go directly to Haruka. It's like we're not getting it. I'm going to go directly to Vajrayani, I'm going to go directly to Buddha, to Medicine Buddha or to Tara. It's like these Buddhas are inseparable from our spiritual guide. And as it's saying here very clearly, we're with this faith, with this mind of faith, we're with this mind of like reliance, we can succeed very, very quickly. If we meditate on our yidam alone without regarding the yidam as one with our spiritual guide, our meditation will lack power. It's like Ian's trying to do this. This island, this independent guy, I'm going to do it. I don't need, it's like it lacks power. It even makes sense in the way that this ego, this inflated ego is going, it's got no power. It's just got ego. It's just got, I was going to say air, but it hasn't even got air. It's just a mirage. It lacks any power. If we meditate on therefore in Secret Mantra it is said that whenever we visualize any deity, we should visualize the deity as inseparable from our spiritual guide. So even these few words, like so profound, there's such profundity in this. So much so that if we even meditated on those lines and began that our deity is inseparable from our spiritual guide, quick results, very quick results, incredible power to our meditations, like transformational power beyond it. It says that Gelwa Sankpa said, many meditators meditate on generation sage of secret mantra, but meditating on the spiritual guide is the supreme meditation. Many practitioners recite the mantras of their yidams, but making requests to our spiritual guide is the supreme practice. So these are words coming from very realized beings. These are, this is wisdom. Like we might want to go straight to the yidam, to our personal deity. This is saying that the supreme practice, like supreme, cannot be surpassed because it's unsurpassed practice. Making requests to our spiritual guide. The most qualified tantric practitioners keep the practice of guru yoga as their main practice. The way to practice guru yoga is to rely sincerely upon our spiritual guide. So, yoga and relying upon a spiritual guide has the same meaning. And like if we do it here, you're probably familiar with heart shield practice, and with twice a month we offering to spiritual guide. And even if we don't, it's incredible practice. And I'm going to say, even if we don't know exactly what's going on, I'm going to speak personally. I don't know exactly what's going on, but even with that, with my limited knowledge of it, at the end of that practice, you feel that there's something has moved, something has happened. It feels like a powerful practice. And that arises just with coming with a sincere heart, an open mind, having that mind of mimicking offering to a spiritual guide, that mind of the heart shield practice, that mind of beginning with faith, beginning with like reliance, just even going there a little bit, very incredible impact. So these practices are there, and they're like, as Gelwa Gosank was saying, like supreme practice. And we've got them right here with no hardship. There's pamphlets, there's sadhanas, there's books, the great treasure of merit, heart jewel, all there as a commentary to these practices too. We have it all. We have it. We have it at our fingertips. There's another book. It's called actually Liberation in the Palm of Our Hand. We literally have it here. we must have been very good in our previous life. We must have, our past, in our past lives, to experience this kind of good fortune and merit, it's extraordinary. And we can think, even now, like, what am I doing? Whenever we're doing actions, will this action benefit my future self, my future life? Is this action I'm doing right now? This action, absolutely. And we can ask ourselves through our day, is this action benefiting my future self, my future life? Because somebody in our previous self, in our past life, was thinking just that for us. How kind, it's like profound. So indirectly, our interest in Dharma is caused by the habits we have built up in previous lives. But the direct cause of our interest is the blessings and inspiration we have received from our spiritual guide. So this is the direct cause. It's not just a causal, it's a direct cause of our interest in the blessings and the inspirations we've received from our spiritual guide. So again, I think I'm doing this, but this is coming from what I'm doing is coming from the inspiration and the blessing from my spiritual guide. I can have a barrier there and think, no, I'm doing this. It's me who's achieved this. But everything, every virtue, every good fortune I've got is coming from that blessing. It's coming from the inspiration of that other, of that spiritual guide. We begin to practice Dharma, avoiding non-virtuous actions and practicing virtuous actions only through the blessings and inspiration of our spiritual guide. All our prostrations and other virtuous actions of body, our recitations and other virtuous actions of speech, and our meditation and other virtuous actions of mind are caused by the blessings and inspiration of our spiritual guide. The opportunity we now have to gain new realizations and the realizations we have already gained all arise in dependence upon the blessings and inspiration of our spiritual guide. Like, what a paragraph. We can think this of just, sometimes we think, even it can be making offerings, we think, I've got so many things to do, I'm not sure I have time to make offerings, and something changes. The next thing we know, we're making offerings. That's gone. Our mind's been blessed, and it feels so natural, it feels effortless. It doesn't feel a chore, it doesn't feel I have to do this. Our mind's been actually moved. What is moving our mind? Where is that blessing coming from? It's like deep. It's like, how has that changed? It's coming from the blessing and the inspiration of our spiritual guide. Sometimes the blessings of our spiritual guide are extraordinary, as in the case of Keshe Jilalwa, who, without exerting effort in meditation, gained concentration naturally through the power of a spiritual guide's blessings. There are many other examples, such as the example of Nirupa, who found it exceedingly difficult to receive teachings from a spiritual guide. Tilopa gave him problems, but he did so to help Nirupa purify his mind. On one occasion, instead of giving Dharma instructions, Tilopa threw a handful of dust into his disciple's face, whereupon Nirupa developed single-pointed concentration and remained there undistracted for a week. All the problems that Tilopa gave were blessings in disguise. So we can think, I think I read this recently, I was reading a little bit about Nirupa, and he had 12 minor and major hardships. It's just like as if just problem after problem. I was thinking, if I had one of those hardships, if I was presented with one of them, I'd have given up. I'd have been like, I'm out of here. This is too difficult. It really was. It seemed like just too much, even from the first one, even from the minor ones, but it's that kind of like problems, purify. They can be there to purify our mind, and we can think of many of the other lineage gurus like Bismillah, just from memory, from very vague memory, he'd caused much harm using like dark magic, and to purify that there was much hardship. Whether his spiritual guide Marpa, just hardship, but it was like purifying his mind of this very heavy karma that he had in his mind. If we think of Lam Chung, who became the greatest mind tamer of his kind, from sweeping the temple and from like reciting mantra, Buddha had given him this job. It was a physical job and also mental and verbal recitations of a mantra, purifying his mind. Purifying dust, cleaning, dusted outside the temple, just kept recurring, cleaning, mantra recitation. Like, I think if I was asked to clean this temple here twice, I'd be a bit like, I'm too busy for it, But that kind of faith, but then purified his mind, and his realization of emptiness became a great teacher, the greatest mind tamer of his time. So then it says, how to rely upon our spiritual guide by engaging in actions of service and devotion. So, service of devotion. There are 4 types of action we can offer to our spiritual guide once we have developed the correct mental attitudes of faith and respect. So we can already think that if we're left to our own device, even after this class, if we think like, who do we think about most? Who do we think about all the time? Well, maybe not all the time. Again, I'm only speaking for myself, but left to our own device, who do we think about most? And then we think, I need an intervention. I need help here, because left by myself, I'm just going to think of myself. I'm going to think of me. I'm going to think of what I do. I'm going to think of my own hardships, my own problems. I'm just going to think of me constantly for all my life and for all my future lives, and just be caught in like samsara, constantly. I just sort of like, just think, whenever I'm left to my own device, this mind that's out of control becomes unpeaceful and uncontrollable, I think of myself constantly. So it says here, with the correct mental attitude of faith and respect. So it's good to have guidance. That's where I'm going with that. It's good to think, hold on, I can tame this wild elephant mind, this wild elephant me, like spotlight on me, and whenever I'm just like constantly. I mean, if it wasn't true, it would be funny, but it's fine. But it's true, just like, who do we think about most? Just ask yourself that. So, with the correct mental attitude of faith and respect. So it's so important, those words, the correct mental attitude of faith and respect. If we're making offerings and we're just like, why do I always have to make the offerings? It's not a great mental attitude to have, it's like, but it's that faith and respect. If we make offerings with a mind of faith and of like respect, incredibly beautiful. If we're grumbling about having to do a task, not a great mental attitude. PMA, as they say in America, but not a great positive mental attitude. So one is offering actions of bodily or verbal respect, such as making prostrations or reciting praises. 2 is offering material things. And 3 is offering service. 4 is offering our own practice of Dharma. So offering actions of body or verbal respect, such as making prostrations, reciting praises, offering material things, offering service. And that offering service is made with a selfless motivation. You know, there's many people, many, not just Buddhism, who offer themselves with a selfless motivation. And whenever we come across people like that, it's so inspiring. There's something so different about that, that we almost can't name it. We almost can't name it because it's so rare. It's like usually if we're doing something service, what's in it for me? And even if we don't say it out loud, we're thinking, what's in it for me? And this is like, but this service is a selfless, and again, it's a training for our mind, but it's a selfless motivation. That's what we're aiming for. And offering our own practice of Dharma. And then it continues, Geshe continues, that we can make these offerings at any time, whether or not our spiritual guide is actually present. All of them please our spiritual guide, but the offering of our own practice of Dharma is the most, pleasing. It is the supreme act of devotion. So again, even these words, like, it's like somebody who's not wanting anything from us, but just our practice. And what is that practice? That it will, that like supreme motivation, that we can gain enlightenment for the benefit of all living beings, or even coming back from that, a practice of being kind, of being giving, of being, respectful, whatever it is, that person is just what pleases them most is our spiritual practice. It's our Dharma practice. Like that, it's rare for me. It's rare to read things like this. It's rare to think of things like this. It's rare to think of people that just want your practice. And that practice isn't about, they don't get, it's not like they're getting anything from it. They just want us to have this good heart and to help other people, to use that Dharma to begin to control our minds, control our anger, practice patience, practice rejoicing. We were doing a class last night on jealousy and that practice of like rejoicing. It's such an incredible practice. I can say that with confidence because I was just reading about it, but it's such an incredible practice. It's so easy for us to be unhappy at other people's good fortune. Somebody gets something and we're jealous. We're unhappy for us. We all know it's a horrible mind, and yet it's like common. But this our spiritual guide, what actually pleases the most is our Dharma practice. And he's very patient. He or she's very patient. It's not that they're, patient, constantly patient with us. I think one of Geshe's words is, don't worry, just try. Our spiritual guide knows, whoever spiritual guide is, that we've got delusions, we're coming up constantly. And who do we think about most? Or if we're left to our own devices, who do we think about? It could be a new program instead of who do you think you are? Left to your own devices, who do you think about? So it says that when we engage in practices such as six-session yoga, we visualize our spiritual guide as Buddhavajradhara. When we practice offering to the spiritual guide, making prostrations, offerings, and requests, we visualize our spiritual guide as Lama Losang Tapan Trojing. When we engage in the 6 preparatory practices called Jobi Chodrug, in Tibetan for meditation on Lamrim. We visualize our spiritual guide as Buddha Shakyamuni. All these practices are ways of relying upon our spiritual guide by engaging in acts of devotion. I just need to check the time, and I need varifocals. That's why I'm constantly using glasses. So I thought we could maybe continue. It looks as if we're not going to finish this bit maybe tonight, but we can maybe just continue into the next part. But that this section in terms of how to rely upon our spiritual guide by engaging in actions of service and devotion, it's like selfless. It's like we're doing it. It's like we're like, it's that attitude of faith and like respect. It's with a selfless motivation, but it's coming from someone that all they want there, that like supreme act is our Dharma practice. So we're not looking for perfection. We're not getting discouraged if we get angry or jealous. We're just recognizing it. I got angry there. Or if we can catch it early, it's like that road and turns into a fork, the crossroads. Where am I going here? Am I going down the road of anger again, which I know very well? Or am I going to try patience, take myself out of that? I know that jealousy path so well, not so familiar about rejoicing, though I can read about it, I can contemplate it. I've got everything here I need. And I can begin to just rejoice and be happy for everybody who's experiencing some good fortune. Because everybody suffers and everyone's in pain. And if somebody happens to, in the middle of this samsaric nightmare, samsara of like pervasive suffering, everywhere we look, the cause of suffering, if somebody in that, like, samsaric nightmare manages to get a little bit of happiness, we can be happy for them. We can just think, and it's there. Our heart becomes light, and we're just like rejoicing. It's so good. I'm working inside. All the people are outside in the sun. I'm so happy for them. Their happiness is generating our happiness. It's like we get shares in their happiness. We're not taking anything off them, but we're getting shares in all people's happiness. We can feel so happy for them, develop this mind of joy. I'm so happy for them. So, I'm just wondering, I'm going to have to look at the time again to see if it's maybe better to... Yeah, okay. I think we'll just leave it there, and then we'll just conclude this chapter next week, and then that'll bring us up to our precious human life. So I think we've got Francis and Mark, I think, online. So I think that Nikki's is going to join you guys, and then we'll come back in about 15 minutes. Okay? Thank you very much.